Hello, friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and God2, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
A bride-to-be and her best friend have plane to themselves and enjoy every minute of it. Written by Hallie Wells, read by Julie Provost. A very lucky bride-to-be and her best friend have a plane to themselves and savored every minute of it. Savannah Sargent and Natalie Wolfrey got a big bonus when the two found themselves flying like the rich and famous on a jet just for them. TikToker Natalie shared her once-in-a-lifetime experience in a post that has now gone viral. Besties Savannah and Natalie were traveling from Salt Lake City back home to Phoenix for Savannah's bridal shower, an exciting time for both the ladies. However, before arriving at the gate, the two learned they would be the only travelers on the plane, which seats 175 people. That's hard to believe. Savannah, thinking she was being pranked, joked, "Oh my gosh, that's good because it's my bridal shower." It wasn't a joke or a prank, but simply a booking fluke. Of course, the pair did what all luxury travelers do and purchased personal-sized pancakes to enjoy during their flight. Once the flight crew very quickly boarded everyone at once and Natalie and Savannah selected their section, the fun began. The crew began making flight announcements while looking at and speaking to them personally. One attendant saying, "All right, Savannah and Natalie, we have now reached 10,000 feet. Savannah and Natalie, the crew is coming through to take your drink orders." What a way to start a celebration. The friends were given much more than a single drink and snack. In fact, attendants gave them a bucket of snacks and let them choose a bit of everything. And they enjoyed the extra goodies during all their giggling and chatting. "Without fellow sleeping travelers to worry about," Natalie said, "we are going to have the best yap session of my life, and no one is going to hear us. We are 10,000 feet in the air and yapping away loud as we want on this plane." Before disembarking, the pilot invited the bride and her best friend into the cockpit where they took photos at the controls. While their return trip to SLC was not as exciting as this one, they will always remember the thrill of flying together and alone while heading home for Savannah's shower. Natalie's original post has now been viewed nearly 6 million times, and Southwest Airlines has offered her and Savannah complimentary tickets for their trip back home for Savannah's wedding. Natalie wrote in a follow-up post, "They gifted me and Sav flights home for her wedding this March. Thank you for helping us make these moments that we're never going to forget. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity." Proverbs 17:17.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than just money. We help you put your plans into motion and faith into action so you can do more for the ones in your heart. Because sometimes all you need to make a difference is someone to help you make it happen. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
What do you think of when you hear the name The Salvation Army? Helping people? Ringing bells at Christmas? Podcasts? Yes, the Salvation Army creates a network of podcasts in both English and Spanish. One of those shows, Words of Life, is a 15-minute weekly show featuring testimonies, interviews, and conversations about topics impacting the church today. On recent and upcoming episodes, we'll be joined by Dr. Craig Keener.
Christianity doesn't rise or fall on Christians. It rises or falls on Jesus Christ.
Bishop for the Global Methodist Church, Dr. Carolyn Moore.
I am consumed by the mind of Christ, and my heart gets broken for the things that break God's heart. I begin now to walk in power.
Nicole Eunice, Rachel Wojo, and more. Listen and subscribe to Words of Life wherever you listen to podcasts, or visit wordsoflifepodcast.org.
Texas man gets married in the hospital after kidney transplant. Written by Julie Provost, read by Julie Provost. There are certain moments in life that make you want to do something important as soon as you are able to. This was the case for Tony Cross, a Texas man. After he received a new kidney, all he wanted to do was marry his fiance, Cynthia, as soon as possible. Before Tony received his kidney, he had been on dialysis for 5 years. This means that he was high up on the transplant list. However, he wasn't expecting to get that call as soon as he did. It was pretty early, and I get these spam calls all the time, so I was about to get an attitude. But they asked to speak to me, Tony shared with KDFW-TV. But it wasn't a spam call. It was a call from medical professionals with Texas Health Harris Methodist, Fort Worth. They notified Tony that he was finally eligible for a kidney transplant. He needed to get to the hospital for surgery later that day, and that's exactly what he did. He then received his new kidney. Tony and Cynthia were going to get married on March 27th, but plans changed after Tony had his kidney transplant. When he was recovering from the surgery, he got the idea to move up the wedding by a few weeks. I asked her, did she mind us getting married in the hospital, Tony recalled. I'm going at the hospital, Cynthia added. Yeah, he said. If you want to, fine with me, she said. And that was that. The doctors and nurses at the hospital helped make it all happen. The couple exchanged their vows only 4 days after his successful kidney surgery. Tony was in a casual hoodie and sweatpants, Cynthia in a leopard print dress. As Tony was still in recovery from the surgery, he was wearing a mask and was in a wheelchair. Now that he has his kidney, it's like a new chance with life, Cynthia shares. He has a new beginning. Exactly, no one is promised tomorrow, Tony added. We wish this couple well as they start their married life together after this amazing life-saving surgery. With all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love. Ephesians 4:2.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, planning your finances is bigger than just money. We help you put your plans into motion and faith into action so you can do more for the ones in your heart. Because sometimes all you need to make a difference is someone to help you make it happen. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.